Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. I feel like we're old friends, don't you? Don't you think you've known me for a long time? You have. Yes. Truly listen to your heart and your instincts, your intuition. They're becoming more powerful as the veil lifts. There's really no separation between us and everything. But the veil is simply, let's say, a term that I use and many other people use to explain the separation that we've created ourselves between, let's say, what we truly are and everything else that is equally powerful. We believe that we're separate. We believe we are not powerful. We don't believe that we're creating our reality. That is all gone now, but not unless you believe it. You must believe that you're that powerful. Let's talk about energy and how it affects other people. All right, so I've got a couple viewer questions I'm going to answer. One is about somebody who said that she's with a husband who talks very badly to her. And have you ever been with a person like that where they think they're being constructive, but the way they put things is not nice? It's judgmental, condescending. It makes you feel bad, right? But the bottom line is nobody makes us feel anything. We choose that. But it is difficult to be around that negative energy, even if they don't truly mean it. So we're going to look at this a few different ways. If we can stop living under the veil and understand that everything out and everything and everybody is an expression of one energy. You're one, you're a wave in the ocean, somebody else is a wave in the ocean. Sometimes you're a tsunami, sometimes it's calm, sometimes it's deep, sometimes it's shallow. That's really all we are. It's so difficult because the material world appears to be separate and it's been so reinforced through the centuries, right? All right, so when somebody, we are all energy and we're all connected. So when somebody acts a certain way, they're projecting an energy that you are absolutely picking up on. That's real. Your energies are, melding together at all times. And when you come in a room, your electromagnetic field affects everybody in the room because you're closer, it's more powerful. It's always out there. There's no separation between it and the cosmos. But because of our collective consciousness contributes our own frequencies within it, right? That's what creates different things. That's what creates things that appear to be solid, which are not at all. Just different frequencies creating, manifesting beyond our comprehension. But it appears to be a physical item. You are one of those. That's all. But you have free will. We are unique in this universe in that we have individual free will, unlike other forms that have been created, which you've been also, okay? So it's not like, oh, I'm special, right? You were a flower, you were a rock, you were, a cloud, whatever. If you don't want to believe that, that's cool. So my question to you is, if you don't believe it, where's that line you're drawing? You're either on board with quantum physics, which is not a theory, it's real. A theory is when we think this is how things work, but quantum physics states that everything is one thing connected. Everything affects everything else. It is one energy. That's truly what quantum physics really states. How far that goes, we don't know, but we do know we're one energy connected and that everything affects everything else. All right, it is one energy. I was told that in my awakened state many years ago. Everything is one thing, all happening at the same time. There's no thing separate. Your energy, your soul could be experiencing all kinds of other things right now. There's no such thing as time. So everything's all one thing happening. All right? I'm not going to go deeper into that because, first of all, I don't have those answers. But I do want to tell you something. Think about how massively powerful that is. So when you walk in a room and you pick up on somebody's negative energy, that's very real. So somebody can say something to you. I remember I saw a tape on Greg Braden for years ago, and he said that a business partner had the exact same birth date as his, and he said, I'm your nemesis, like the darker version of Greg. And they laughed. And he said he felt something when that was said. And he should have paid attention. And that's exactly what happened. This person ended up stealing a whole boatload of money from Greg. And sometimes we bypass those feelings because what appears out here in the material world can be very convincing. Yet we're not going with what our heart and, our, let's say, our intuition are telling us. You know more than anybody, better than anyone, what's truly going on. Now, I've got whole videos on this, and I'll do another one. How do you separate that from fear? Because you could say, oh, I feel this or that, and that could be a fear. So we have to worry about, well, we don't have to worry about anything. We have to look at that and say, let's make sure we're going with intuition and just not our own egotistical fears. All right, so I'm just mentioning that because I want you to really know that that can play a big part in a lot of our decision making. So, the hubby who's disrespectful, I want you to always remember that if you're thinking from an ego standpoint, you're not going to see things clearly. So you may be thinking, speaks disrespectful, fact, according to you. Maybe to somebody else it wouldn't be disrespectful. Condescending, fact, according to you. All these other things. And this viewer, this subscriber, I hope you're a subscriber, not a viewer. The subscriber said to him, I don't like the way you talk to me, and he has continued to do this. Now, the first thing I'm thinking is, he's coming from his own negative place. It's never about you. Second thing, he's probably always talked to you that way, but you have transitioned into something else, which this subscriber told me that she was feeling more spiritually advanced, that she's elevating herself, and now all of a sudden this is feeling very negative to her, right? Because her frequency is now not on his. Maybe she was okay with that, she didn't feel worthy or whatever. I'm sure that's probably what was going on, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be with that person in the first place or stay with them. So maybe you've transitioned, this happens frequently, and your partner is no longer resonating with you, and you both feel it. So what happens sometimes is they will fight even harder to maintain that position because you're no longer in that, yay, we're in the same club kind of thing where this dual thing, this battle goes on that you both were feeding off of. Negative energies love to fuel each other, right? So now you're going out of it and you're no longer accepting that. So there are a couple things that you can do in a situation like that. Ow, something just bit me. A couple things you can do in that situation. One is you can sit him down and instead of telling him what you don't like. So a lot of times what you're doing is you're saying, I don't accept you. It was okay all this time and now it's not. When we have a non-acceptance of anything, we're opposing it. So what happens is you're creating conflict. So, by the way, I'm not telling you to not stand up for yourself, but there's a way of doing things that can work for you instead of against you. What was it I said? What was it? It was Kung Fu, and I said Tai Chi. When you use Tai Chi, you use the energy, you use the energy to deflect. Somebody said, I think you meant Kung Fu. It was Kung Fu I meant, where you don't oppose the person, you use their energy to let them bypass. There's no conflict there. And then they flip over and hurt themselves. And that's all you're doing. All right? So you never oppose because you get a lot of bruises that way, right? So when you can sit down and say to this person, look, there's a way for us to speak to each other that's going to be on a much, let's just kinder manner. What can I do that could change the situation between us? Because it's not feeling good for me. And I don't know how you're feeling, but I want to hear how you're feeling. Why are you stating things a certain way? And maybe I can show you how I'm interpreting that. Not, hey, you're speaking wrong to me, you're being nasty or whatever. Even if you say it nicely, that ego that they're coming from, which is they're a lower frequency already, is going to oppose you. They're going to battle it more. When you can sit down and say, listen, I know this is the way we've always talked to each other, but the truth is that it just doesn't feel good for me. It doesn't feel good for me, and I want to know how I can make this better. You know, what am I doing that is triggering you? Is there some way that we can communicate with each other that's going to work for both of us? Does this feel good for you? I mean, are you feeling good about how we communicate and talk to each other? Are you feeling some negative energy? Yes or no, right? You start to get them to talk and open up without opposing them and saying, you're wrong, you need to change, I don't like this. In other words, I'm not accepting you anymore. When you accept a situation, you take complete responsibility for the fact that you brought that person into your life, you accepted them, and you still got them in your life, and that now things have changed and you want that person to change. It's not going to happen. They have free will, and only they get to decide if they want to go with you to that other frequency, and there's a good chance that you're still evolving too. You know, I'm all awakened. I've seen that a lot. We're all awakened until we're judging somebody else because they're not awakened. Then we're not awakened, right? We got to be very careful of that because we're continually evolving. We're always ascending. We're always raising our frequency. That's why you're still going to always get lessons, because no matter how high you go, there's going to be something else that says, are you really awakened? Here's something else. Like Eckhart Tolle said, go spend a week with your parents if you think you're awakened. Well, mine are dead now, so that's not going to happen. They're a little bit more advanced now. All right. So can you sit down and tell this person, say, listen, I know we've always talked to each other this way, and go into it that way and just say, you know, I want to hear how you're feeling. You know, I want to hear if you're feeling good, if you're not feeling good, if there's something I'm doing that makes you feel that you need to talk to me a certain way, or are you aware that it just doesn't work for me to speak to each other like this? It feels bad. Are you feeling bad? Because I'm feeling bad. I want to change this. How can we change it? And you don't come in with like there's a problem. You come in with, you know, we're human beings evolving. And can we evolve together? If not, I have no problem doing this. My mom said, even as a child, one of she thought was a strength, was to absolutely be able to cut my losses and walk away without allowing it to take me down. We cut our losses and then, and that's the ego too. Even when somebody dies, we're not crying for them. They're freaking feeling great, going, hey, get over it. You know, you're going to be with me here. Trust me, you're going to be with me at some point. Live your life. And we're going, no, I miss you. We're crying for ourselves. That's still the ego wanting things. All right, so I got another response from, and this is a great example of using your energy in the most positive way without opposition. One of my subscribers said that I don't know which video you saw, but I loved it. She said that her kid who acts up and screams and does this crazy stuff, God bless you parents. I don't think I was ever cut out for that. I'm not a parent. Animals, I can handle animals. Kids that are unruly, that's a big challenge. It's a huge challenge, but once again, you took it on. Don't say, oh, this is a blah, blah. Hey, really, I think I remember that we had to participate in that to bring him into the world. So, right? So here you go. You can't give those back. But the bottom line is this subscriber saw one of my videos, or maybe a few, and started to handle her child differently. And I wish you'd give me details. I'd love to hear this because this is very valuable information for all of us. And actually saw the child differently. So that's that opposition goes away of the kid's acting up and screaming, stop that and behave, or you're not learning the way I think you should, or you're not playing sports like I think you should, you're autistic, you should be doing this, I want you to be an attorney. Oh, well, nobody wants their kid to be an attorney. Sorry, that was a joke. Sort of. I want you to be a doctor, and you want to be an artist, and there's no money in that. This goes on constantly. And we think we're doing it for the betterment of them, just like the husband and wife team. I think I'm telling you how to be a better person. I think it's better for you. It's opposition. So she started to really appreciate her child. And the relationship is better. Why? The child is picking up on the positive energy. You're not opposing. Even your thoughts and that energy you're sending out can be in opposition, and this person picks up on it, and there's conflict. They feel the disapproval. Do not discount your intuition and what you're picking up on with other people. You feel like, you know when somebody doesn't like you, no matter how nice they act. You can feel that energy, right? So it's uncomfortable, and that relationship shifts. That child is going to behave a certain way, probably more calm, because mommy and daddy are now no longer all riled up. Their energy is not riled up. It's going to a higher frequency where there's more acceptance. The child will be more calm. And if not, you'll be more calm, accepting the fact that this is how it is. Me opposing it's just going to give me a heart attack, or a nervous breakdown. So can you accept things, use your energy on the highest level, not for opposition, battle nothing. This is the most difficult thing to do. Hey, Gandhi, man, they laid down in front of the tanks. That worked with the British. I know it's not going to work with a lot of other cultures, which just mow you over. Okay, so be it. So you use other tactics that are still peaceful, that do not oppose. If you don't have somebody fighting back, there's no battle, right? Now we can go into some kind of debate. I'm not here to debate that at all. I can just tell you from an energetic level that this does work, and that the only reason there's conflict is because we're not believing that things should be the way they are. They're the way they are because you ordered it. You participated in it. What is the message there, and how can you transform your energy to dissolve the situation, transform the situation, raise that frequency in yours? Sometimes that means walking away. All right? You're not here to change somebody who's not willing to change. You can only propose something powerful and beautiful. And trust me, if you do walk away after you've done that, and you feel you've done everything you can, and they have chosen a different pathway, there's a very good chance that person will never forget you and what you did, and they will realize that that was a powerfully peaceful thing, and may come back on a higher level frequency and say, you know what? I'm so sorry. Wow, that was amazing. No argument and all this stuff. It was like you were just presenting something peaceful. I opposed it. I'm seeking a higher way, and they may come back. And if they don't, has to be acceptance there for you to be at peace. Otherwise, you're going to be in conflict still. So using that energy is so powerful. It's really everything. And if you use it for peace, and you go to that higher frequency and say, okay, whoa, things are exactly the way they should be. How can I contribute to this on a high frequency, not opposing, not disapproving, and allowing that other energy to decide if it is or is not going to work with me. Don't assume you're always right. Right is whatever you believe it is. Truth is whatever you believe it is. We all get to create our own individual realities within the same room as each other. Mine is going to be different than yours. Something else is going different on my head than yours, right? In my soul and my energy. We all have a different pathway, but we're all one. Never forget that. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.